Good evening. I have actually been meaning to talk about this topic for a while. It's just sort of like one of those ideas that I've always thought about making a video about and never just really got around to it until Paul Simeon made his vegan mukbang pizza video where he freaked out about having animal products in his food. So now I figured it would probably be the best time to make this video. So I'm going to start off by listing all of the times that I have accidentally consumed animal products since going vegan. I'm going to start with the most relevant. I was eating pasta a couple months ago, and there's a brand from Aldi's. I forgot the actual brand name, but it was the marinara sauce that they have, Aldi's brand. And for a long time I had bought that brand because it was vegan. I didn't even really have to worry about it. But companies sometimes change their recipes and they put, I think it was Romano or Parmesan cheese in the sauce, and I didn't read the label until after I'd been consuming the sauce because I'd been eating it for years and it's been, no cheese in it. And now they changed the recipe and there's like 2 different types of cheese in it. And I actually consumed it. I didn't freak out though. All I did was throw out the rest of the sauce because everybody in my family's vegan, so nobody would want to eat it. My mom suggested that maybe I write a letter to them to, let them know, like, hey, you may be losing our business because we really liked your product, but unfortunately now we're not going to be able to buy it. And I feel like that is much more constructive than throwing your phone on the ground and acting like a little child. Calling up the company like Paul Simeon did was a great idea, but maybe next time he could say something like, hey, I just found out that there's cheese in your product. I thought it was vegan. Is there any way that you could, label it and say, hey, we have cheese, there's not a vegan product? Or maybe the pizza company could just say, contains dairy for people who may be lactose intolerant, because that's an even larger sect of people than vegans. Just doing something constructive instead of throwing a temper tantrum is always going to be beneficial. At work, they asked me if I could taste test a couple of the dressings because as a shift supervisor, they want me to be able to taste the dressings. They were like teaching me how to taste and like different parts of your mouth, what to look for and different types of things. So they asked me which dressings I could have, and I told them I could have the carrot chili and the Thai cashew because those are all 100% vegan, no honey, no nothing in them. And I tried those ones and I was like, oh, I can have the miso sesame ginger dressing. And I'd had the dressing 2 times before because I figured I should try all of the vegan dressings so that I can best help the customers come through the line and pick which dressings they should have. And I can't have most of the dressings, so I'm gonna have as many as I possibly can. And it wasn't until I had it in my mouth and I was swishing it around and they were telling me what to look for that someone was like, oh no, stop, there's fish paste in there. And I just immediately spit it out, washed my mouth out, and just went on with the rest of the taste testing. They felt really bad, but I was the one who said that I could do it. I just was the one who didn't completely read the instructions. I didn't flip out about it because the best thing that you can possibly do is, one, like I said earlier, just kind of be proactive about it and be constructive about it. Do something that can help other vegans not make that decision. But the only thing that you can do for yourself at that very moment is just move on and be a bit more vigilant the next time that you try something, next time you eat something, next time you purchase something. Just read the labels a bit more. I mean, you really shouldn't be going into a pizza shop anyway assuming that the sauce is vegan. I always go into any place assuming that even the salad dressing isn't vegan. I go in assuming that the bread isn't vegan. I go in assuming that everything is not vegan unless I'm told otherwise. You're going to avoid a lot of complications. You're going to avoid a lot of issues if you just assume that everything is not vegan unless you're told otherwise. So those are the only 2 that come to mind. I know that there's probably a bunch more that I've consumed on accident. I know my mom bought some B12 a couple months ago, and there's carmine in it, which is crushed up beetles. She didn't know. She had no idea. And there's a lot of things that vegans are probably consuming on a daily basis, and just they have no idea that there's animal products in them because there are some weird names for animal products that don't really sound like animal products. There's a really big learning curve, and all you can really do is the best that you can when you're vegan. You're not going to be perfect, and I think that's something that a lot of vegans should understand when going vegan. Even the most staunch vegan is at some point in their vegan journey going to consume or purchase some type of animal product, whether it's they just didn't know or they just got lazy and just assumed that hummus was vegan. One time I actually consumed hummus that had honey in it. It was from BJ's, and it was like some black bean hummus, and I was like, oh, that's great. And I just my mom brought some home. We have tried pretty much every hummus available. So I just dipped the chip in there and I ate it, and then I read the ingredients. I was like, oh, there's honey in that. And I just, you know, didn't freak out. I just didn't eat anymore. That's it. I just learned my lesson to check even hummus labels. And I feel like I'm getting kind of redundant now, so I'm just gonna end this now and just say, just be constructive, and just next time learn your lesson, just be more vigilant and read labels better, and just go into things assuming that they're not vegan unless you're told otherwise. But if you act like somebody already knows something, they're gonna be more receptive to it because you just built up their ego, you made them think that you think highly of them,